Hey YouTube, I'm Zybux, and I have for you a review of the Nintendo Game Boy Color. So just to give you a little background, the Game Boy Color was a handheld released by Nintendo, obviously, in 1989, the same year as the original Game Boy. It was a very big step up from the original Game Boy because, as you can see, it was in color. The original Game Boy was not in color, it just had a very green background, which is kind of odd to play on. It was kind of odd. So yeah, it was also a little bit better for graphics wise because it seemed sort of on the Game Boy original when the screen would move, it would get a tiny bit blurry for a second when you were moving. So yeah, that's basically the background. So anyway, so getting into the system. So the system is, for the time, not very heavy at all. It's pretty light even by today's standards. Not exactly thin, as you can see. Yeah, just here's the 3DS compared to it. So you have about the same thickness as the 3DS, but there's that bulge right there that makes it kind of not the best to have in your pocket, but it doesn't really matter if you have a big pocket. So on the system itself you have an A and B button, which are very good. They feel sort of like a console controller. I very much like that. Then you have these start and select buttons, which are kind of odd. They kind of feel like a combination of rubber and cloth. Kind of weird, but feel really good too, even though they're kind of odd. Then you have a D-pad, which is also a really good D-pad, very easy to play on. And I have a Arduino sticker, which makes absolutely nothing special. And then there's a Nintendo logo right here, it says Game Boy Color. Then there's a power light right there that turns red when you turn the system on. So on this side we have the volume slider, which is nice. I like volume sliders, even like, well, not a slider, it's more of a wheel kind of thing. I like the sliders more because you can get to the volume a lot quicker, but this was good too. You have the extension right here for multiplayer games, which are awesome too. And right here you have a little gap, I don't know what to call that, where you can put a thing through it so you could hold it like on a string or by a lanyard or something. Kind of odd to have a Game Boy on a lanyard, but whatever. So yeah, you have a infrared communication thing right here, so not sure what that's for. And on the back you have the battery cover. Should open that up. Takes two AA batteries. They don't obviously have to be Energizer. And the battery cover says Game Boy Color on it. I'm pretty sure there's supposed to be a label there, but I think it went away. So yeah, it just has some normal, like, weird technical rules and stuff. There's a barcode. There's the game slot, some screws. Then right here you have the power switch. And down here you have a DC in port, which is basically you can play from wall power instead of playing with batteries, which is actually pretty nice. And right here you have the standard audio jack, same one as you use for your iPod or whatever you listen to music or stuff from. So anyway, yeah, that's basically what the Game Boy Color looks like. Let's get into how it plays. So anyway, the screen still is not backlit, unlike the Game Boy Light, which is released a little bit around the same time. The Game Boy Light actually only sold 11,000. Well, no, only 11,000 were even made the Game Boy Light, but this isn't about the Game Boy Light. So anyway, just gonna turn this on. My sound on this sadly does not work. The speaker, which is right here, does not work anymore. Kind of just goes when you try to use it. So I'm gonna be using these very epic speakers that light up when they have sound. So anyway, I'm going to plug this in using the audio jack. And so yeah, the game I'm just going to show real quick is, if I can get this out, Pokemon Crystal version. And I love this game, probably my favorite Game Boy Color game. Well, basically, my favorite handheld game. I love Pokemon, and this is just, I think, the best one. Yeah, as you can see, I had to cut it off there because it takes a long time to get games out of this thing, which is not very good because there was no way to grip the games other than these little edges right here, which were not very helpful. So yeah, this thing still works, and so I'm just gonna fire it up. It has a little Game Boy thing, but you couldn't hear it. Oh, forgot to turn the speakers on. So yeah, as you can hear, not the most impressive sound. Not bad for when it came out, and that's how I like to judge things for when they came out. I kind of like the sound, kind of retro, and as you can see, my awesome speakers are lighting up. Oh yeah. So yeah, that's the sound. And so I'm just gonna go ahead and game a little bit. I'll zoom in here. There we go. And as you can see, the screen's getting a little fuzzy. Yeah, that's just my camera though. Game Boy is, yeah, so you just see him walking around, nothing's bad's happening. He's gonna talk to this dude. That's Pokemon League right now. Not that that matters to you at all. And so yeah, just walking around. And then also kind of cool, what I like about it is that when you turn the Game Boy Color off, and with most Game Boys, and really all systems up till the Game Boy Advance SP, which includes the DS original, when you turn it off, the pixels kind of stay there for a while. And actually they stay, found out, they stay longer depending on how bright, how much light is on the screen. I really don't know why, but I think it's pretty cool. And yeah, as you can see, there's a little, the lights up. And yeah, see if you can hear my broken speaker. You hear it? Yeah. So anyway, yeah, that's my review of the Game Boy Color. As you can see, I have a blue one. Mine's supposed to be teal, but it looks blue on this camera. So anyway, yeah, the Game Boy Color, I think it's really awesome. Good system. I would actually recommend buying one. They're not very expensive on eBay. But I have never actually found one at any, like, Bookman's or anything. So yeah, that's the Game Boy Color. Pretty good. If you want to see more like this, subscribe to me. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up. See ya.